So, what am I scared of? Sharing something intimate and vulnerable. What I'm sharing is perhaps very relatable to you if you also struggle with your voice, with taking up space, and growing up in a home where being quiet was seen as a good thing, and where you expressing yourself openly and even loudly was not a good thing. Loud sounds. Like I have a trauma response around loud sounds, things that surprise me, with either people talking loudly or whatever it is, just loud sounds. It just activates this like, ugh, feeling in my body. What I realized through feeling into it is how much I control myself from not being loud, not taking up too much space. And so it annoys me when I'm around others that are loud, that speak in a loud voice. It activates this like collapsing feeling into myself. Like it elicits fear and aversion, a lot of resistance. I've been working with this feeling, knowing that there's a story here inside this feeling. And the story is that I grew up having a lot of my different expressions be not okay. Being scolded for it, being told to be quiet. And so I really learned how to control myself really well and be quiet. Like quiet was good, that's obedient, that's being a good child. What was conditioned into me as what a good child does is still playing out in my life, where now I experience pain and discomfort when I hear loud sounds, when I hear loud voices. And it brings up a lot of painful things in my body, things I don't want to feel. And I see in me the urge to want to also control the loud sound, the loud voice outside of me. The same thing that was done to me. Putting a block on my essence, on my authentic expression. Because the way that I react and respond to sound and voices, there's an equivalent way I am also reacting and responding to my own self. So that pain and aversion to the ways that others are freely expressing themselves is really coming from my own sense of not being allowed to be that and do that. And if I continue to stay in the mindset of wanting to stop others because it brings up discomfort in me without investigating that discomfort in me, then I am simply perpetuating the thing that hurt me to keep happening. So part of embracing my own essence, my own voice and expression is to recognize what happened for me to feel so unsafe in that. And the ways in which that awareness is brought into the light through what I'm triggered with. It's funny that I had to, in the middle of recording this, my partner went to the bathroom and flushed the toilet, and I had to pause it and get really angry with that sound. Again, going to that place, that core wound place of what I want to say, the space I want to create and exist in cannot happen because it is being intruded upon and because others are not acting in the way that makes me feel like what I'm saying or doing is important and that it matters. And then opening that space of pain, the pain of not mattering when it's being tuned into and given presence to, that very presence is the substance that breaks the spell of not mattering. Because that presence is the antidote to not mattering, which is such a deep pain that I carry, that is a pattern that's been with me since I was incarnated as this person. And so I want to show you how it is to carry that pain of not mattering enough to be heard, of being scared to speak your voice. And that in that space where those pains exist, bringing your awareness and your care, your attention to give a sense of importance to those painful feelings by not putting them away, but rather giving them a really special holding place inside of you, to be for those feelings to be appreciated as they are, because really they are the link to your deepest joy, to your true belonging. That pain of not being allowed to express and holding it in, and the pain of not really feeling seen and staying quiet. Those are all there because they're wanting to be shown a new way, a new possibility for really living, for truly being alive. If those parts, those fragments of self can be brought in as guests of honor in your life, as important catalyzers for change, for true self-love, where all parts of you, the most hidden, rejected parts, can feel worthy and deserving of love, of attention. For them to feel like they have value, because they do. They're inspiring you to not give up, because as long as that ache is there, that's the thing that's gonna help you keep going, to uncover more and more of yourself, to want to show up, to feel more whole. You can realize that you really do have the choice in every moment. You have the choice to act from your default conditioning, which in this case might mean to stay quiet, blame the trigger, demand quiet, or try a different way, the opposite way, which is to turn towards yourself, into that gooey place of uncertainty and uncontrollableness and undesirability, aversion, and to practice staying with it. Practice curiosity with it. Experiment with extending your presence with it. As I'm experimenting here with you, sharing my thoughts, what's arising, this is not something, there's definitely a place of discomfort for me. But again, going along with this theme of the year being let it rip, letting it rip with presence inside the edge, the precipice between the known and the unknown, in that realm of uncertainty. And seeing and feeling what alchemizes in the process. What bit of spaciousness and freedom can be experienced in the face of presence with uncertainty.